Hello and welcome. If you're watching this video, you're probably new to the game and are most likely part of the new crowd that just recently joined the game because of the game going free on Epic Games, or maybe you bought it on one of the many sales that's going on right now in the holiday season. And let me welcome you to this great game. But you're here because you're struggling, aren't you? There's a slight curve. A lot of the players here are well over level 100, 200, 300 maybe. So they're probably leagues ahead of you in skill. So you want to learn a few things on how to play this game, and that's what I'm here for. Now this is just a simple video on survivors. I'll be making a video on demons for the new demon mains out there sometime soon in the near future. Probably gonna release, I don't know, maybe Saturday or Sunday. So tune in then. But without further ado, let's begin. Okay, first off, before we get into actual explain how to play the game better, let me just talk about the most important thing in this game that will affect and make or break many of your games, and that's teamwork. You know, that thing you learned back in like elementary school? Teamwork is the main tool of the survivors. Demons are on their own, so they don't have people to rely on. And as survivor, if you're not working with your teammates and have each other's backs, you will lose 9 times out of 10. You will not get very far. The demon will find you, fuck you up, and kill you. Okay? So, as the video goes on, I hope you notice there's a pattern here with teamwork, and I'm going to try to explain how you should work with your teammates as best as you can in each of these upcoming sections. Okay?
You've obtained the Kandarian Dagger, legendary artifact.
So first on the list is the character classes. So there are 4 different character classes: support, hunter, warrior, and leader. All 4 of them have their different key roles and play differently from one another. So first off are the supports. Supports are the team healers. So their job is to make sure everyone's health is in check. Every single support in the game can heal any other teammate by simply drinking a Shemps, which are those little cans of beer you find around the map. They can also give amulet bars to all surrounding teammates by using an amulet. And every single support has a unique ability that typically work towards helping the team in many different ways, whether it's a group healing ability or creating amulets to increase the defense of all of your teammates, stuff like that. Supports are probably the most simple characters in the game, but they can be the most stressful because supports can make or break a game. So as a support, you need to be on it. When someone's health goes low, drink that Shemps. Don't delay. Use it as quick as possible, especially if there's a possessed unit or boss attacking someone. Use it. And another thing, anyone else in the game that isn't a support should be giving their Shemps to their support. Supports can hold up to a max of 6 Shemps when fully upgraded, or 8 in the case of Cheryl. Same with amulets. You should be handing them to your supports or warriors because, again, supports can carry a max of 6 amulets and Pablo can carry a max of 7. So, share those amulets and share those Shemps with your support. It'll make the game go much better for everyone, so don't be a Shemp and amulet hog. No one likes that, and it will screw your team over big time. When playing support during a combat situation, you should just do anything that's best at the moment. So, if you don't want to get up close, guns are a totally valid option for supports, especially for, say, support Ash and David. But if you want to use melee, that's also viable, especially viable for, again, support Ash. He's got the best of both worlds. But you should really just be analyzing when's the best moment to either use ranged or melee. And as a support, don't hog the special weapons. If you find, say, a blue axe, give that to any of your warriors. Don't hold on to that. If you find a blue hunting rifle, give that to one of your hunters. If they don't want it, then you can keep it. But in any and all instances where you find a very valuable weapon, you should hand it off to someone that can use it much, much better. Because supports probably have the worst damage output out of pretty much everyone in the game. So give those rare weapons to people that will use them much better. Alright, the next set of characters in the game are the hunters. There are 4 in total, and all of them vary pretty drastically in terms of their special abilities, but all of them come down to the basic idea that they use guns and they use them very well. Now, hunters have the highest range damage of any class of characters in the game. So what that means is, when playing hunter, you should be collecting the best ranged weapons and collecting as much ammo as possible. And your teammates should be giving you rare weapons, or rare guns in this case, and giving you ammo when you most need it. Hunters are also the fastest characters in the game and have the most stamina of any character in the game. So what this means is you can dodge a lot more, run a lot more, and run a lot faster. So one of the most very important times a hunter is most useful is when you're fighting certain demons, like the Necromancer. The Necromancer places down a special skeleton that can amplify all the effects of other skeletons nearby. So every skeleton nearby does extra damage, has more health, etc. So when that skeleton is spawned, which is playing a flute, so you'll be able to hear it, the hunter should run off and go get that flute guy, because everyone else will only do it slower, and it leaves everyone else in the team in a vulnerable state when one guy is gone. So it's better if the hunter, who's the quickest, goes off, shoots it, comes back. And when playing as a hunter, do not, and I mean do not, carry rare melee weapons unless everyone else already has one. Hand them off to any other class, especially your warriors. You are the worst class at melee damage, so do not take rare melee weapons. It only drags down everyone else on your team. So in summary, as hunter, use rare guns, collect as much ammo as you can, keep a distance, and just keep shooting at the enemy unless you are completely out of ammo and your teammates have no extra for you. So yeah, that's it. The third class of characters are the warriors. They are the tanks of the team and the heavy damage dealers. Warriors have the most health out of any class of characters and deal the most melee damage out of any class of characters. So obviously, as a warrior, you should be using any and all high-grade melee weapons you can find, and your teammates should be giving any and all high-grade melee weapons that they find. As a warrior, you should be especially keeping on those possessed units and attacking them as much as possible to absorb the damage and deal the damage. And as a warrior, you should also be grabbing as many amulets as you can, because if you upgrade your shield with pink F, you can eventually upgrade it enough that using one amulet gives you 2 shield bars. So it only adds to your total amount of tankiness that you have. And one last thing about warriors is that you should never carry high-grade range weapons, because like how hunters are the worst with melee damage, warriors are absolutely terrible at range damage. So don't carry high-grade guns. You should really just be carrying something like a lever action or a pistol so that you can shoot a possessed teammate while they're at a distance, you know? That's really it. Yeah. So that's really it with warrior. It's pretty simple. Just attack things and absorb damage for your teammates. Warriors are probably the most simple and easy and beginner-friendly class in the game, so I don't think I need to spend too long on these guys. Okay, final class are the leaders. Now, the leaders are probably the most complex and hard to understand. Now, leaders are most definitely the least newbie-friendly class, because leaders don't really have a defined role. Each leader does something a little differently. Like Annie is basically a hunter, and Leader Ash kind of does a mix of both things. He's got decent melee and decent ranged. But I'd say if you're really starting into this game, stay away from leaders until you kind of understand things a bit more. Now, that's not me saying leaders are terrible, right? They're still good. Their general purpose is to provide buffs to all of your teammates with their special auras that they produce. Each one of them has a unique aura. Like Arthur just increases general melee damage, and that's, you know, that's basically it. They all have special unique abilities, but they all have one aura ability that just affects all survivors nearby that buffs them. That's their main purpose. Other than that, you don't really have a defined role, right? Your main objective should just be doing objectives in game and attacking possessed units when they arise. So, I mean, they basically play like every other character. They're just a slight bit more harder to understand. Alright, so that summarizes all of the characters in the game, and now it is time to move on. Now let's talk about the objectives. There are 4 phases to the game. The first is map piece collecting. The second are collecting the Kandarian Dagger and lost pages of the Necronomicon. The third is banishing the Dark Ones, and the fourth is defending the Necronomicon. So the first objective, collecting the map pieces, is probably the most simple and easiest one, but don't let that fool you. It can still make or break a game depending on how you go about this. When collecting the map pieces, you want to get it done as quickly as possible. The longer you take collecting map pieces, the stronger the demon gets. Now, typically this period is when you loot a whole lot, but don't loot for too long. You might find a lot of goodies, but if the demon finds you and is attacking you, it doesn't matter. He's going to run through those resources as quickly as possible. So you want to quickly grab map pieces, loot as you go, and then some. You don't want to loot a location for too long. Take note of who's looting where. If someone enters a building and they loot it, don't re-enter that building and loot what's already been essentially looted. Just move on. And if you think you don't have enough items to last you, that's not to say you can't quickly take a detour and loot something that you might think might be helpful. Let's say you're in Dead End and your next objective is Harry's houses. You could, theoretically, take a dip to the left and check that one little building at Shockley Auto. That would be totally cool. But it doesn't mean you continue going to the left to loot the far building on the left end of Shockley Auto. Just loot the one, then make your way up to Harry's houses. Or you could quickly loot the graveyard and then Harry's houses. Those are both ideas that I use quite often. If I have an objective like that, I might quickly check a place that's on my route there, but I'm not going to stop and loot everything that's in the area. Just 1 or maybe 2 buildings, as long as they are close together and on my way there. Again, the demon will get stronger as the game goes on, so you want to complete this objective as quick as possible so that he is as weak as possible for the dagger and lost pages. So, in the best case scenario, you should probably have this part of the game done within 10 minutes or less. Don't take too long, like I said. And if the demon finds you during this section of the game, don't stay and fight. Leave, get in a car, run, loop through windows. I'll explain more of this later in a later section, but keep that in mind for now. And one last thing. Whatever you do, do not go in the opposite direction of the main objective just to loot somewhere else. I don't know how many times I need to preface this. If the objective is at El Brujo's hut, you have no reason to go over to Mama's Liquors, okay? You are wasting yours and everyone else's time, and you will probably screw over your other teammates. And if the demon finds on your own, you're fucked. That's it. You are fucked. So do not go off in opposite directions of main objectives just to loot some other place, all right? You find plenty of loot as you go. Sometimes you might get unlucky and not find a lot of loot, but believe me, most cases you're going to find just enough loot to get you through the game. So, just, you know, don't be stupid. That's all I'm saying. Alright, now we're here for the final trial of the game, really, that determines whether or not you make it to the Dark Ones. The Lost Page of the Necronomicon and Kandarian Dagger. Now this is probably where the bulk of the game is going to be spent, on these objectives. So on these objectives, the demon is going to be spawning as many units as he possibly can, and is going to possess as many as he can, if he's good. So during these objectives, you all want to gang up on possessed units when they drop. Do not spend your time fighting unpossessed basics or elites while one guy gets pummeled by a single possessed unit. Everyone needs to gang up. Hunters, shoot the hell out of it. Warriors, beat the shit out of it. Supports, beat or shoot the shit out of it. Leaders, beat or shoot the shit out of it. Just all attack it at once, and it should be dispatched relatively quickly. And supports should be watching their teammates' health and healing as need be. And people should be sharing the resources when people need them most. This part of the game is probably the most simple one, and you probably understood it pretty quickly, but still there's some mistakes that can be made here. Namely, just making sure you're watching each other's backs, like I said. This game is really teamwork based on Survivor. And one last thing. On these objectives, when fighting the Necromancer, which are those skeleton guys with the shields, typically demons will place their flutist, which is the guy that buffs all their demons, off nearby, usually 40 to 50 meters away, if they understand what they're doing. During these moments, this is when hunters should be running off and killing that flute guy so all the other demons aren't buffed anymore. Because believe me, fighting flute buff demons is a real pain in the ass. They are really that much stronger, so you should be getting those guys, hunters. And that's really it for those objectives. They both play the exact same. It just depends on where they are. That might change how the game is played, but that's really it. Okay, I say that's it, but I missed one last thing. A lot of tryhards will tell you that you should typically target the objective that is the farthest from the Dark Ones. Now, that is a good strategy, because it means you can get the farthest one, get the one that's closest to the Dark Ones, and then reach the Dark Ones quicker, which gives the demon less time to prepare. And I'll tell you, that is a good and very viable strategy, but it is not necessary to win. Sure, it might make a slight advantage or disadvantage depending on which way you do it, but just do whatever you want most. Like, if you collect a map piece and then the objective spawns basically right next to you, go for that one. Don't just walk off to the other one because it might be farther to the Dark Ones. Just do the one that's closest to you if it spawns literally next to you, or go for the farthest one if you really think you're going to need that advantage. Okay, the Dark Ones. This is another area that is really important. I mean, they all are important, but a lot of games die here for me, and that's because people kind of lose all their coordination when they get here. What I mean by that is, your main objective here is to banish the Dark Ones. So, for PC, you hold the control button and try to avoid blasts from the Dark Ones. I don't know what the button is for the console, but you get the idea. When you're here, it's easy to get distracted, because you have these giant guys in robes here shooting blasts at you, so you might not notice that, hey, my teammate's getting attacked by a possessed unit, or I'm possessed and I'm attacking my teammates. Why isn't anyone helping? So that's why it's really important to keep a visual eye out for alerts that tell you so-and-so has been possessed or so-and-so has been downed, or just look. If you see someone's health bar dropping really rapidly, they're probably being attacked. So you need to split off from attacking the Dark Ones and help your teammates. You should still be constantly trying to attack anyone that's possessed or anything that's possessed as much as possible as a team. And again, supports, keep an eye out for your health bars. So really, it's not too different from other objectives like the pages or the dagger. It's just that you just have to press the control button on something. But still, it plays the same in the sense that the demon's going to spam units and try to attack you, and that you need to gang up on things when they come. Don't split off as much. Just try to keep as close together as possible still. Like, many people split off from one another during this part, and people die, people don't pay attention, people get attacked. It's a really big mistake that a lot of people make. Even veterans make this mistake. So new players, don't make that mistake. Stay together, attack possessed units, and just try to watch others' backs. Like maybe at most one guy could be attacking the dark ones, like the support, but everyone should be sticking together as much as they can and just doing the same thing they've been doing before. Okay, it's the book, the final stretch. Now, a good demon main will typically attack the book, so you need to defend it as much as possible. Now, bad demon mains or new players won't be attacking the book, they'll probably be trying to attack you. So if the case is they're trying to attack you, play like you've always been playing. But if they're attacking the book, you need to go into fucking Ultra Instinct, fucking overprotective parent mode for that book. You need to attack anything that comes up to the book together. If something runs up that's possessed and is smacking the shit out of that book, everyone needs to attack at once. Because if they destroy that book and you're not paying attention, it's game over. So everyone needs to be attacking anything that comes for the book. And supports, again, need to be watching each other's backs. So always, always, always be attacking whatever is possessed that's attacking the book. Don't split off and attack unpossessed units because you are screwing over the team by doing that. Attack. And I mean, always attack possessed units. Always at the book. Always. Possessed units and bosses are the most dangerous things at book. Forget about unpossessed units. Just attack the possessed ones. Okay? Good. Okay, that covers everything for the objectives. Now let's talk about fighting the demon. Now, fighting the demon is, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, just fucking hit your shots better. Hit your headshots, hunters. Or, oh, make sure you dodge better, guys. That comes in time. You'll learn how to dodge things a lot better as you play. I'm sure there are strategy guides or videos out there that tell you how to dodge better and better aim and just how to use combat better. But the basis is, you have your light attacks, your heavy attacks, you can shoot, and that's really it. But there are some things that I can teach you that'll make you a bit better. Now, I did mention, I'm not going to tell you how to do dodging better, but there is one quick strategy I will tell you that can trip up a demon very easily, and that's dodging forward. So, I'm not sure what the dodge button is for console, but on PC, you press the space button, and you press W, A, S, or D. If you press space button, forward, which is W, towards a demon, you will slip past them most of the time, and they'll end up missing you, and they'll have to reorientate themselves back around towards you to attack you. This will trip up demons big time. So keep that in mind. Use it when it's best needed. And, yeah, just keep an eye out. You'll get better at dodging as you play. Now, I mentioned earlier that during the beginning game, when you're collecting map pieces, if the demon finds you, I said you should run. And I'm going to explain that a little bit better. So, if the demon finds you, it is so much better to run than to fight, because during that beginning portion, you are least prepared, or you're in the process of preparing. And if it catches you during that, you are at your weakest. You are at your strongest when you're at objectives, like the Dagger, Pages, or Dark Ones, or Book, when you're all together, all attacking. So instead of fighting, get in a car, drive away. If you can't reach a car, use windows. You can vault through windows, and it'll stop them for a few seconds. Now, basics can also jump through windows, and I'm pretty sure Evil Ash can too, but if Evil Ash spawns while you're still collecting the map pieces, I'm going to say that you're probably very fucked and you're not going to win anyway. Now, the demon also has one counter to people using cars, and that's possessing them. You can possess a car for relatively cheap and drive it away, and it might be a bit annoying. He can also run you over with it, but let me tell you a little secret. So if all of your teammates are together and the demon possesses a car, just shoot the shit out of the car to push him out of the possessed car. Like a possessed demon, if he doesn't have enough infernal energy and you keep hitting him and he loses infernal energy, he'll have no choice but to be pushed out of the possession. So just shoot the shit out of the car. It'll do damage to the car, but there's still plenty of cars around the map, so yeah. And if you really want to try hard, have multiple cars. People should just split up into multiple cars and drive around. It'll piss demons off super badly, especially those level like 600, 700 players. They will piss and shit their pants and cry like a huge baby. Believe me, they fucking will. Now, hunters can dodge the shit out of demons, of course, but the only time you should really be fighting a demon when you're in this state of the game is only if it is so very necessary, okay? Like if you have no other choice, like one guy is downed and someone else is getting ganged up on, then go for it. But you should really, really try your best to just get in a car, drive away, and escape. It is so much better because you'll be saving resources, allowing you to get stronger, and the demon won't get stronger by attacking you. Because no matter what, as long as the demon is attacking you, he's getting stronger. And if he downs someone, even stronger. And if he manages to kill someone, it gives him an immediate, very big edge over all survivors during the beginning portion of the game. And it will carry over into the late game. So just watch your backs. Keep yourselves in check. Run as much as you can and avoid as much conflict as you can during the beginning of the game. Alright? There you go. Now with every other objective, it is the exact same. Gang up on any possessed demons that you see, or bosses, and just destroy them as a team. Don't leave one guy to fight it. He's most likely, he might win, but he's gonna lose a lot of health, go through a lot of resources, and it's not very good, and it's a dick thing to do. So just gang up on them as much as possible, and make sure you're using, and I mean actually using, abilities that are geared for combat. So Warrior Ash, if you see a boss, use that potion, get stronger, or if your fear is really high, I guess you can use it. Hunter Ash, if you see a possessed unit, a possessed basic, especially, because you can't really banish elites or bosses. So if you see a possessed unit, immediately use as much as possible. Just exercise as many, and I mean as many units as you can. So really, that's really it for every other objective. Just use your abilities, gang up on the possessed units, heal your teammates. That's really it. That's really how it works when fighting demons. Now that really summarizes the basics of Survivor. This is essentially a better tutorial than what the game gave you. Almost a 30-minute one, but I'll be sure to chop it up into pieces so you guys can go to where you want to go to most. So yeah, that's really it. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you really take my advice to heart, because believe me, there are still so many terrible players out there that have been playing this game since launch, and I don't know why the fuck they're still playing. So don't be like them and stay terrible, right? Not all of you are terrible. Some of you new players are catching on pretty quick, and I've been doing my best to make sure I teach some of you guys how this game works in-game. So just try your best. Always stick with your teammates. That's really it. Have a good day.